And hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault, and it's the Tom Chenault Show. I hope you're having an unbelievable day today. We have got a great show for you, and you are going to be excited by it. I promise you, you're going to have a picture of me in your wallet when this thing is over, because these two people are very, very similar, except one is just breaking into the profession, and the other one has been in, and she's probably halfway through her career. And she's been doing it a long time, but there's a lot of gas left in this second guest tank. First guest is my buddy, Michelle Eldridge. And I first heard her at Ray Higdon's event down in Orlando, which I'm going to go back to next month. It was unbelievable. She is a veritable rock star. Her name is Michelle Eldridge. She is just, she's a mom, but she's an unbelievable human being who has been through it. So any of you who have a story of not being able to survive because your past is so bad that you decided to put it into your future, I promise you one thing right now: you got to erase that tape, and you got to put your past in your past. Take what you learned from it, take the best from it, stand in today and live into a future you designed, just exactly like Michelle Eldridge is doing. Michelle Eldridge, how are you, Popcorn City?
I am super good. I am so honored to be here. I remember when I literally sent you that message, I'm like, I'm going to be on your show one day.
Yeah.
And now here we are. So I am just honored, but I'm doing really, really well. I'm not going to lie, I'm nervous, but just super happy to be on here with y'all.
Okay, so what I want you to do is just kind of read your t-shirt and get out of your head and listen to me, because quite frankly, you have that t-shirt on backwards. So nobody, I mean, that's shocking that you wore it backwards.
Yeah, well, it's not backwards. I just don't have the phone that lets me flip it. Of course I don't.
No. It says it right. I was trying to get you out of your head, and I thought that might do the trick. It's perfect. So here we go. So that's so cute. And so how old are you? About 16, 17 years old?
Yeah, no, I'll be 29 in November.
And how long you been doing professional network marketing?
2 years next month. September 2nd will be my second year.
And how on earth did you end up in this profession? What preceded that?
Well, pretty much, I was unemployable. And so what that means is I was around drugs basically all my life. That was a normal thing. And I always said, I'm not going to do that. That won't be me. And I was raped when I was 14. And lo and behold, that's what I started doing. And I was an IV user. I became homeless. Long story short, you go to jail, you get a record. Nobody wants to hire you. You can't really do anything. And so I tried to apply for a job at like this local dollar store and couldn't get one, clearly. And so I was on Facebook. That was really my only lifeline, was my phone at the time. I didn't have friends or, anything like that I really could just talk to. And so I was on Facebook one day, and I saw this girl. She was doing this class, and she invited me to it. And I usually don't look at those things. I say that every single time because I didn't, but it pays to listen to your heart, because I did that day. And I saw her, and she was talking about it, and she was saying all the good things. She was pregnant. And so I messaged her, I asked her about it, and she told me, and I'm like, $200 may as well be $1 million for me. I literally had no money, $0, 2 children, and I was by myself at the time. And I had no car, no, nothing. And so I'm like, she told me, but she's like, there's none of this and this and this. I'm like, okay. So I literally went through my kids' toys, the nicest ones. It's the only thing we had a surplus of. And so I sold them on Facebook. I sold a couple things in my clothes, which I didn't have much. And I put pictures that were on my wall, literally took pictures of them, posted them on Facebook, the yard sale, and sold them until I got $231, which is what it cost. Because I knew, she's like, they don't do background checks. They don't, any of that. And I mean, it had been 7 years. It had been over 7 years, and I still couldn't get the job. It was still following me. And she's like, they don't do that. And I'm like, well, I don't wear makeup, but I'll try. I mean, why not? I ain't got no other option. So that's what led me here. The gift of desperation. That's what I like to call it.
Wow. So you signed up, you stepped into the game, and what happened then?
Well, pretty quickly, I told you that she was pregnant. She was pregnant with her first kid, my upline. And then she suffered from postpartum depression after that. So I was on my own, clueless, didn't know even how to wear what I was doing, much less, only had 125 Facebook friends. And most of them didn't like me. I didn't have Instagram. Like, it was just like, you know how people are like, you contact your friends and family first. Well, I didn't have anybody to just be like, call up and say, hey, you want to buy from me? It wasn't like that. So I literally had to figure out, what the crap am I going to do now that I've done it? And no matter what, I've got to do it. And so I literally got on Google. It's my best friend. Like, if Google ever stops, I know like 6 things total. So hopefully that doesn't ever happen. So I'm Googling, I find all these things, and Ray and Jessica Higdon pop up. And that literally saved my life. No doubt. And so, like, even to me at the time, $20 was a lot, but literally $20 is, nothing now, but it was. But I knew if I could get in that rank makers group that I could do it. Who else has access to somebody like that for $20 a month? It's less than you spend on junk in the store in a week. So I get in there and I literally follow directions exactly. I don't know any better than to not do that. That's all I know to do. So I start going live and I tell people, I'm like, I do not have any idea what I'm doing. I am learning. We will learn together. And I was upfront from the beginning about, I didn't know what I was doing.
Wow. And you just learned by trial and error. You got your nose bloodied, but people started falling in love with you because you were vulnerable and you were authentic, right?
Yeah, I didn't know, again, any better than to pretend to be anything but myself. And I live in a small town, so everybody knew me anyway. They knew what I was. There was no point in trying to get on here and lie or, pretend like I was anything else for the people who don't know me. So it was just, I had to embrace the fact that it wasn't going to be perfect. But if all these other people in a bazillion different other companies could do it, why couldn't I? Like, that was the only thing that would stop me. And I would ask myself all the time, I would say, what am I going to tell my kids if I don't do this? Like, where will we be if I don't make this happen? And so there was no worry of rejection. There was no any of that. And I told you at that meeting at A&MP, I'm like, I work my business literally like somebody that was on crack or something, because every single day you start at zero. You start at $0 when you're out there like that, but you have no doubt in your mind that you're going to get the money by the end of the day. And that's how I work my business. I know that I've got to get through the people who say no to impact the people that need me, the people who want to say yes. And so the no is just my way there. I don't worry if it's not going to happen, because I know it is, because it has for other people, right?
Wow. And how long have you been sober?
Over 7 years. October will be 8. And I was like, I didn't just tiptoe in there. I started straight out using the needle, like from the beginning. It was special, extra special. I don't know why I thought I needed to dive head first. That's usually how I do anything. But that didn't start me. But now it does. Now it does, because I'm able to touch the people who, don't feel like they're enough, or like their past defines them still, when reality, you create the definition of who you are. And you can touch people on a different level if you'll just put yourself out there.
You are making people cry out there right now. I swear you are, because there's so many people that think they have screwed up so much that there's no way out of the jackpot. You have been below zero. And right now that if you can do it, literally anybody can, right, Michelle?
Yeah, there's no doubt in, I can't even fathom somebody saying I can't. Why can't you? Tell me why. Because there's no reason. If they want it, for real, they want it. There's not a person that can make me believe that they can't. Not one single person. on the planet.
You know, and I think about Zach McKay, and I think about you.
I love him.
Well, it's just guys like, you know, we all come from, and I'm not going to give away anybody's anonymity but mine, and you called yourself out, but I am telling you, to be able to have a second chance, and most of us recovering alcoholics have some sort of rap sheet or some sort of felony, something out there that is going to stop most doors for opening for us. But this network marketing profession rewards good people doing good things and gives people that second, third, fourth, fifth chance, just like the 12-step programs do, right?
Yep. It doesn't matter who you are. That's irrelevant for what the good that you do, the way that you show up for people, the way that you truly are trying to impact people. That shows, it reflects in your paycheck. And so I don't feel like there's any other thing that I'd rather be doing that would serve me and others more. Like, it just makes me feel so good, you know, to hear how much that I'm able to help somebody. Even it's hard to believe sometimes, but it's still just so powerful. Like, what else would I be doing? Who knew that would lead me to my purpose that I didn't even know was a thing at the time, you know?
That's because God's great, kid. You know that. That's, you know, just turning it over. What I love about you, we got a minute and a half, is I was at another seminar with you after that. And here we are every morning, 7 o'clock. Everybody else is either coming to or sleeping in. And there you and I are with about a half dozen other people who know who they are. And we're sitting in a circle that morning, thanking God we didn't drink that night and praying to God we don't drink that day. And every one of us doing the same thing in recovery as we do every day in network marketing. And that's do it every day without fail, stay the course, don't deviate from the system, and outcomes end up like yours. You're growing up with your beautiful kids. After the break, I want you to talk about Christmas time, because that was one of my favorite stories of yours that just makes me cry. And how do we get hold of you? I got 25 seconds. Tell me how people find you.
Just search me on Facebook, Michelle Eldridge. My pictures have got a rainbow in the background. You will find me. Okay,
and Pamela will throw a link up for you. So we've got her. And this woman, Michelle Eldridge, is the most, you can't believe where she came from and where she is. And if she can do it, she's only been doing this for 2 years, and she's already a great success story because she decided to. That's each and every one of you. We'll be back right after this. We're on the Genesis Communication Network. Thank you, Ted Anderson, for letting us have this radio show. We'll be right back. And we're back. Hello there, little girl. Say hi to Adrian.
Hey, Adrian.
What's up, Rockstar? How are you?
Oh, not much. You see it. We're having fun. I'm glad you could join us. You're awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, this is fun.
How do you like your T-shirt, Michelle?
It is seriously the best. Listen, I've been telling everybody you know that I've been wanting one of these for since I saw them. I didn't realize they were a day in MP, or I'd have bought 14. But I finally got it. I've been I'm telling everybody about it. I've worn it 4 times in 3 days. So, you know.
Can you believe how soft the material is?
No, that's why I keep wearing it. I work from home. I'm chasing kids. I'm not going to wear something that's uncomfortable. And then, of course, the saying is awesome. So it feels good. It keeps my heart in check so that I know what I'm doing. Why wouldn't I wear it every day? There's no shame in that.
I think we're going to get rid of the app, and we're just going to be a T-shirt company.
Man, we've sold more T-shirts than we have the app, and it's unbelievable. Talk about contact mapping. How do you like it?
Oh my gosh. So I was just saying to Marianne that I've got to do a video, because listen, it has literally changed the game. I don't know if anybody watching can relate, but how many times have you forgot to follow up with somebody? How many times has somebody slipped through the cracks and you've been you see them a year later and you're like, oh crap. I have so much going on that I would forget. And now I don't forget ever do I forget. And it's so simple. I just literally tell the phone what I want it to remember for me, set a date, and it tells me when I follow up with them. So it's super easy. If I can do that, I'm technology challenged, they do help you, but it's super user friendly. I'm in love with it, obsessed with it.
That's so awesome. And I think it's the best. I always think about people that, you're chasing these little kids around. I've watched you on lives before. So many other mom entrepreneurs that are, you can't see it on the Facebook Live, but there's kids like running laps around their legs it's like, there's just so much craziness when you're raising young kids, and you need some place to park this stuff, because if you don't get it written down somewhere, you're going to lose it instantly. Right?
Exactly. It goes out the window, and you have such good intentions. Your intentions are good. You can write it in a notebook. Which notebook? Where did I put the notebook? What did I do with my pen? But the one thing you never lose, or you never go without, your phone. It's never lost. If it is, not long, because you're going to find it. And it's always there. Why not?
That's awesome.
And the name of the game will go all the way until we got another full minute.
Okay.
So the name of the game, yeah. And all of you out there, this morning I got a picture. Somebody had somebody's details written on the inside of their product box. And they literally had to go out to the trash, grab that box, bring it back in the house. And then they transposed that onto their notepad and sent me a note and said, do you think this app would help with that? And I'm going, only 1,000,000%, because you're not going to be transposing. You're going to be speaking it in, number one. So contactmapping.com is where they go, right?
That's right. And if you want a cool shirt like Michelle, you can go to contactmapping.com/swag, SWAG, and grab yourself a t-shirt.
All right, good. So everybody, we try to sell this app, but it isn't about the app. The app is only a tool to the end result called you having control of your life and your friends in it. And you're actually becoming that friend you always wanted. And it's astounding. It will blow your mind. We'll give you a free trial. So do that. Contactmapping.com. We're coming back right now. And we're back. It's Tom Chenault and Michelle Eldridge. I hope you found her on Facebook right now. I hope you friended her up. This woman is a rock star. She's so young, and she's got such a future, and she's tied on to the leaders already. She's already plugged into the Higdons of the world. She is rocking and rolling. Did Jessica have that baby yet?
Not yet, but she is so close. She's due the 21st, but we feel like it's going to be any day, because bless her, we all just want it to be any day for her at this point.
Isn't tomorrow the 21st?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Yes.
And it's 2 hours later.
Tomorrow.
Okay, well, you keep me
That's
posted.
why we need to act, Tom. I forget even the date,
That's exciting. I know it. Me too. So talk about your Christmas, because it made me cry.
So y'all probably know, I don't know how it works in your town, but you probably have some kind of something that if you make less than XYZ, the health department will come out and they'll bring gifts, they'll sit them somewhere, and you'll get WIC, or you'll do all these things, but they'll bring gifts to your kids, if you're in this certain income, whatever. And that every single year, that's what we had to do. We got stuff, and we had Christmas, and it would have been awesome. And obviously it's not just about the gifts, but for me, I know, and as a mom and as a parent, we want to give our kids the best that we possibly can. And I had joined literally in September of 2017. And by December, not only had I got a car, because I remember I told you I didn't have one, but I was able to get them the best literal Christmas that they've ever had on my own with no help. And just to see their little faces light up. And obviously they forget the toys in 5 minutes, but I don't forget it. The parents don't forget that. And it was just the first time ever that not have to worry if I'm sacrificing the electricity bill to get them presents, or some kind of payment so I could do it, or go in some kind of debt. I was still fine. I was still just fine. It had just been a few months. It hadn't been any time. I'm still a baby, and it's just been 2 years, that's how insanely life-changing it can be if you really, truly decide that you're going to do it. And you decide to, follow leaders like Tom and Lisa, you're going to meet her in a minute, and Ray, and just these people. You can't come in and make it work without being coachable. I do not believe if I was not coachable, I couldn't have done anything. And that to me is by far and again, it's gifts, but it's not about the gifts. It's about the way it made me feel, because I didn't want to be a statistic anymore. I wasn't going to be just a number that this percentage of people, well, the sheet proved that this XYZ is right. No, I broke the mold. I'm done with that. And I'm making my own little percentage over here.
And here's, and I've gotten a couple of texts. I just looked at my phone. People wonder if they can do it. And I am telling you, contact Michelle. I mean, she is a force to be reckoned with. She reaches up for mentoring. She reaches up for coaching. This woman will look anybody in the eye and say, I want what you've got. And in this profession, there's a lot of people that are trying to take advantage of other people with their training and stuff like that.
Amen.
What I love about you is you figured that out early. I was standing in the hall that day when I heard you talking about somebody that had literally tried to pick your pocket. And what ended up happening at the end of the day in that conversation was you got some other people around you to make sure that didn't happen to you or anybody else. And I love that you're that brave, you're that street smart, and you're that focused on your success that you're going to let nothing get in the way of it, right?
Yeah, nothing. There's no sacrifice big enough, right? And that's what you have to do. You might like, I was fooled one time for about 48 hours, but that was it. That's all it took. And I've stayed right in my thing, right in this lead with heart kind of people. And it served me. But as far as can I do it? Why can't you?
Yeah.
What is stopping you? Like, really, what is really stopping you? Not I don't have time, because time, if you're working, like if you have a job or whatever, if you have a job and you're like, I don't have enough time, a surplus of time is not going to help you if you're not using the time you already have. So really ask yourself, why can't I? And if it's fear, or if it's, you don't have the right coaching or something like that, it's here. You just have to be resourceful. You have to find it and feel who is really there, really wanting to help you, really truly trying to impact you and help you. And you'll find those people if you stay around Tom. Like, there's no doubt.
We completely and totally love you. You are welcome back on this show.
I love you so much.
You're a friend of this show. I'm telling you, I want to buy your kids Christmas presents this year. I mean, everything about you raises this profession. And don't you change a thing, little girl. You stay sober. You stay on the straight and narrow. You stay with Ray and Jessica. You stay with Lisa. And the rest is going to be history. So thanks a lot for coming on. We'll see everybody
Thank
right
you
after
so
this.
much.
All right. See you later. Thanks a million, Michelle Eldridge. We're back. And we are back, and we now have the light turned on. We've got Lisa, and we've got Michelle, and we've got Adrian. So I get to comment on Facebook, and we get to talk to everybody. Turn Lisa's camera on unless she's sleeping. There she is. Holy mackerel. Wake up, Lisa. How are you, kid?
Awesome.
How do you like little Michelle Eldridge?
She was awesome. I listened to the whole thing, but I've known her, and I know her amazing story.
I love Lisa.
So actually, Michelle was with Lisa
in the hall.
First time that I met her. Yeah.
Really?
That was the first time that I ever met you. Isn't that
Yeah.
awesome?
That's exactly right. So it was a great day for all of us that day.
It was indeed.
Yeah.
It sure was. It's been such an honor to know all of you. And I appreciate y'all for having me, for real. I appreciate it so much.
No,
None of us
Yeah, heck yes,
know
man.
each other if it
Lisa.
wasn't for events.
We
So,
can't hear you, Lisa. You're gonna have to get a little closer to your little microphone, Lisa.
All right, you can't hear me?
Now I
can.
Now I can hear you.
I apologize. I'm a little bit hoarse. I'll drink a lot of water. I'm in Arkansas draining.
So
None of us would know
you're
each other.
living on a lake in Texas. Is that correct, Lisa?
Actually, no. I have a house in Texas. I have a lake house in Arkansas, and I'm at my lake house in Arkansas.
Wow. Well, I think we started a trend.
That's
Matt
right.
Morris is now living on a lake. Lisa's living on a lake. So I'm the only one.
You practically invented a lake.
I invented lakes. Yep, it's a trend. It's unbelievable. I invented water. So he looks pretty good, doesn't he, Lee?
He looks amazing. He and I talked last week about lake living.
Unbelievable. They're living the dream down there.
Yeah, they are.
We got to
They're
go see them.
getting a brand 30-foot Sea Ray. They're living their life. We want to have.
37, sir.
So anybody listening to this show wondering what's going on, know that we're on commercial break and we have only one sponsor, and that's Adrian. And he bored everybody to death during the first segment. So we're trying to bring it back and chat a little bit so you don't fall asleep. And
That's so hurtful.
that's hurtful.
I'm not paying for this segment.
Oh, no, tell a joke or something so people know. What do you think? What's going on with contact mapping?
Yeah. So actually, funny enough, we have coffee mugs now that he didn't know this.
I did not know
That's the
about it
camera
today.
Right up there.
It was so funny. I walk in a meeting and everybody's got a coffee cup but me. And I used a couple of words of profanity called "what the," and then they told me, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, Dad, we've got coffee cups now. Everybody, I'm driving down the street and homeless people all have coffee cups, and here's Tom Chenault doesn't
You
have
don't
one.
like coffee anyway, do you?
I don't drink any coffee at all."
Well, as long as you're going to bring that up, I think I was one of the earlier supporters of contact mapping, wasn't I?
Yes.
And I've been looking at this awesome t-shirt Michelle is wearing. I've been hearing her talk about the awesome t-shirt she's wearing. Tom was mentioning how soft and cuddly and wonderful the awesome t-shirt she's wearing is. I do not have an awesome t-shirt that is soft and cuddly and warm and wonderful for my home-based business that is a contact mapping t-shirt. What's up with that?
That's my fault. I told him we didn't have one with a deep cleavage.
Oh, okay.
Oh, great. So funny. No, we'll get you one and you can cut it up. So I told Adrian, I nudged him and said, watch this. I knew that was going to be a risky joke that probably wasn't that funny, but I thought it was great.
It would probably be offensive to somebody that had cleavage.
We sent it to your house in Texas. Are you in Arkansas right now?
I'm in Arkansas, but I have people that text call me every day with what's arrived. No calls about my awesome warm cuddly t-shirt.
Oh, rats. Okay, good.
It is forthcoming. Don't worry, Lisa.
Okay.
All
We have
right.
witnesses. All these people in Facebook
That's
link.
right.
Well, now we got to get one for Jeanette.
We do.
Jeanette Anderson down
That's
in
going to be a more
Australia.
expensive shipping bill.
Yeah.
That's further than Arkansas.
She's a great woman. You know, I'll never forget. Jeanette Anderson knows everybody. And
I've
Lisa,
known her for 20 years.
yeah, she just loves you. And it's just so cute watching all this stuff. And then Sean Murphy, that's the only guy we won't send a shirt to.
Well, I don't know. Sean knows a lot of people. He's a big fan.
All right, we'll give him a shirt
You know
too.
what? It's built in advertising.
We'll
People
get it.
ask about that t-shirt. I'm going to say, oh my gosh, are you wired with contact mapping? They came out with this amazing t-shirt. If you think they're good at t-shirts, they're amateurs in the t-shirt business. Let me tell you what they're like in the contact business.
There you go. That's what we want to hear. Okay, we got to go back on. Everybody's tapping me, waving at me. So Michelle, love to see you. Everybody, we'll be right back.
Bye.
And we're back. It is Tom Chenault. It's the Tom Chenault Show. I hope you are all having a great day, and you love that little Michelle Eldridge. She is a force to be reckoned with, and that kid's got a bright future because she's got mentors. And the person that mentors literally more people across all companies for no personal gain for herself is Lisa Bader Grossman. Never met anybody like her in my entire life. She's so doggone smart. She's scary smart, but she's so deep. She is the true contact mapper. I mean, I've never met anybody with a Rolodex like that at the highest levels of any profession. Lisa Grossman, how you doing, kid?
I'm having an awesome day. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic, Lisa. And, you know, most people know your story of literal incarceration to liberation and freedom, which is where you are now. So I'm not going to go there because anybody that falls in love with you can go find it with Eric Worre, who's phenomenal, who's a buddy of yours. And you actually were the first one that lobbied for me to get to speak with and for Eric. But the point I'm saying to you is we are in a shifting tide in network marketing. And I would rather talk about that, your role. You decided to step back into the game after being a consultant for many, many years to go out there and show people that customer acquisition can pay off. Would you mind talking about that a little bit?
Yeah, and it's funny, you make it sound like I was so wise, and truthfully, I accidentally did it because I had a life-changing experience with the product. And what's interesting about that, and the reason I raise it, Tom, is my very first company, I had a great experience with the product. Somebody asked me to try a product, I did, and then they invited me to a meeting. And honestly, if I hadn't loved the product, there's no way I would have ever looked at a business. And even though I loved the product, I wasn't excited to look at a business. But now 30 years later, it was an experience with a product that got me back into the business and sharing it. And and all the business in between, the products were always good, but I looked at it different. And what I've realized is everything goes full circle, and where you start and the perspective that you start from affects everything that grows from that moment forward. And the love affair with what you are using, consumerism trumps everything. The perspective of the consumer is the perspective that grows businesses huge, because any business worth having is going to have, by its very definition, many, many more people that are there for one reason and one reason only: the value they place on the experience with the good service or product they're paying for every month. And if that doesn't excite them, they're going to consume something else. So first and foremost, I'm a consumer who loves what I consume. And that changed everything for me. So customer acquisition starts with, would you have been acquired as a customer yourself based solely on how you feel about the product and everything about the experience having to do with that product?
I agree with that. And you said something to me this morning that was rather hurtful. You said you were mad at me during the pre-interview for this show because I hadn't told you about some product in my company's product line.
Oh, yeah.
Hold it for a sec. This is important stuff because I thought about that deeply.
Just like make people know I love you, but I wanted to, this is a product I would be excited about and you didn't tell me.
Yeah, but hang on a second because it's really important. So that's another vertical in my company. But where she really hit the nail on the head for me was my arrogance. Never asked her what she was passionate about. And I had interviewed Lisa many, many times about her love of cooking and her love of tradition with her family. And I should have put two and two together, but I wasn't interviewing with my ears. I was just, and so I didn't mention that to her because personally, I'm not passionate about that vertical, but she was. And what I got out of that as I was mulling over our conversation, like I always do when I chat with you, is I need to be more cognizant of the needs of the person across the table, not Tom Chenault's needs. And had I done that, I wouldn't have been in trouble with you today. And that's exactly what you said about your product experience. You're so in love with your product, your hair is on fire, and you can literally talk about it because people can sense you feel that way about what's coming out of your mouth, much the way I feel about relationships, contact mapping, and the legacy I'm leaving. So we're on the same page totally. And you're right.
You just made me think of something interesting based on what you said. I'm going to let you off the hook a little bit here. I'm really well known for the business of network marketing. Most of the conversations I have with people that play at the level that we operate at are business related to some degree. So it's not unusual that we wouldn't have been having that consumer conversation. But having said that, I do love to cook. I love being at home and everything else. And I think that most women on some level, and a lot of men, do. There's just something about being in the kitchen and holidays and flavor, especially now everybody's moving back, I think, to fresher and eating more healthy. It's a very in thing. We go in cycles. And I just think that spices and seasoning, there's a bigger world than salt and pepper. And I was actually having a conversation with your CEO saying, you do so many things over there. This would be so cool to go into. Why isn't anybody in this in a big way? And he said, we are. And I was flabbergasted. So I was just kind of giving you a little bit of just tugging your chain a little bit. I really wasn't mad. I'm actually excited to try those products.
Yeah, and that isn't where I'm going. I mean, every company's got coffee, every company's got this, they got that. It's not about a product. I'm trying to, we're not talking about that, you
but what
guys.
I'm saying is that the point I was making is we all get so caught up in the business. Remember that every person you're talking to is also a consumer who may not be interested in your business, but may love your products, was my point to everybody watching.
So, and the FTC, I mean, if you're always looking at tina.org and the various people out there trying to stop the people with the big income claims and all the garbage going on. When you are focused on customers and you've got that giant customer ratio working in the customer favor, at the end of the day, even if you're making a lot of money, you're really not raising any eyebrows because you're doing it with integrity, right?
Yeah. Can I dig into this a little bit for the people that are watching?
Yeah.
Because Tom, there's a question I was asked for 30 years. I know you've been asked it too, and I'm going to come clean here. I never really had what I thought was a good answer, but I finally came up with one because it got asked so much. How many times have you been asked to leave with the product or the opportunity?
Yeah, people ask me that all the time.
I never really was comfortable with it because to me, they're so intertwined and I never really knew what people were asking. So I came up with a very highbrow, shut them down answer. But here's my way of explaining it today. And I really want people that are watching to think about this. Whatever company you're with, assuming you're with one, think of your company as a long road. And the gates to the road are when somebody takes the first step, which could be, no, I've never heard of it. Because when you bring it up, whatever it is, they might say, don't say another word. So they didn't take a step at all. But if they say, no, I never heard of it, that's step one. That's the beginning of the road. The end of the road is grand poobah, Starfleet commander position at the top of the company, which a few people attain. Now, most people are going to get past the very first step and at least have some sort of conversation. And most people are never going to become Starfleet commanders. And in between the two, there's a very long road that people can stop anywhere they want, go further. And I want you to understand that everybody should start at the beginning and get to go as far along the road as they want to go. And that some people will go a little bit and some people will go fast and some people go slow and some people stop in the middle and some people will try a product and never go any further. And some people will become a customer and some smart people will become auto ship customers. And some people will want to get their product for free and make a little bit of money. And some people want to build large organizations. And it doesn't matter. Everybody needs to start at the beginning and walk down the same road as far as they want to go, as fast as they want to go. And you help them do that and plug them in. And if you build your business that way, it just becomes very simple and duplicable. So the beginning of the road is using product. I don't think you're going to find a top distributor in any company that has a sustainable business that they're passionate about that isn't passionately using products in that company. And that just makes it simple. And that's what I discovered. Go back to the beginning, have everybody start at the beginning. Ever watched a really good movie? Isn't it better when you don't walk in the middle? And isn't it better if you can stay around for the ending and not have somebody tell it to you, but you get to experience it yourself?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And every one of you can do it the way she's talking about. Think about the person across the table from you. Ask them what they're interested in. My whole deal is the coffee shop interview. I find out what people want to buy and what they don't want to buy. I wait a couple of days, then I call them back and sell them what they told me they wanted to buy. And I don't bring up what they didn't want to buy. And it's money, time, or hope, one of the three, health all the time. And my job is to figure out which one of them pops their eyes open at 2:00 in the morning. So I am not a cookie cutter kind of guy that just has one presentation for everybody, because we're dealing with human beings and it's a serious conversation. And again, what I love about Lisa is that she takes it so seriously. She's the deepest thinker I think I've ever known in network marketing. She's going to explain the brick rank, the foundation rank on the other side of this break. But literally everybody is out there using that conversation these days. And I promise you, it started. in my opinion, with Lisa Grossman. I think she's the one that coined the term. I think other people have grabbed it, but she figured out where this business duplicates itself at the lowest common denominator, made that the foundation rank, and you're going to hear about that in the next segment. She is a rock star. How do people find you, Lisa? Where do you want them to go?
Facebook. You know, everybody has Facebook.
Facebook it is. So Lisa Fader, Faeder, or something like that. Grossman, Grossman. You want to find,
two N's.
huh?
Lisa Fader, 2 N's.
2 N's. All right, whatever. Just find her. You can find her. You can see her right now. Find the person that looks like her and hit friend request and get her as a friend. I am telling you, she is one of my best friends in this profession because I can count on her to tell me the truth. And about 6 out of 10 conversations with her, I don't want to hear what she's going to tell me, but she's always.
No, I'm not an ogre.
You're not an ogre. You're straight as an arrow. You're just a straight as an arrow, non-ogre. All right, we're coming back right after this. This is the Tom Chenault Show on the Genesis Communication Network.
You can put that on a business card, Lisa. Straight as an arrow, non-ogre. That's
Okay,
that's
so
gonna be my title.
We're on Facebook now, right?
Yeah,
So we're going to talk about contact mapping, which I love. I'm also going to check out some chicken. Is that okay?
That's perfect. That's
she say?
awesome. She's gonna check on some chicken. So
Checking on the chicken.
I have.
That's why we're on my iPad. So I
Lisa
can check on
is
chicken.
famous in general, but Lisa is one of these people that occupies really a special space in your mind and in your heart. And so I've always known who she was. I've always known how smart you are, Lisa. And so that you've always gone in the place of she's the smartest person in network marketing. That's
Right.
That's basically
That's
what
what I've
you've
always
always
said.
said about her to me. And that's probably true. But what is also true about you that really surprised me in the non-ogre category is that Lisa called me, I don't know, 6 months ago, and you left me one of the nicest voice messages that was so authentic and so kind of anybody that's ever, I mean, it was unbelievable. And I think that it's really rare to have somebody that's that can span both of those things. But Lisa, I want you to talk about how you develop relationships with people inside this business and what you think is the most important key ingredients to doing that well.
See, I got the chicken down.
You did it.
Boom.
And I'm ready to talk. I think that a lot of people confuse the business that we're in. And I think that is where, it goes off the rails for people because we're ultimately in the choice business. We marry the process, we divorce the result, and we go out and we offer people choices and we develop relationships where hopefully we help them to drill down to specificity so that they can look at things differently and make better choices for themselves, not what we want them to do, but what is best for them. And if you have a lot of faith in what you're doing, if you believe in your products, believe in your mission, believe in your vision, believe in your team, your company, then you have to have faith that if you talk to enough people and you share with what you got with enough people, that if you let everybody make their own choices, then enough people are going to choose to align with you and do what you're doing, that it's going to work out the way it's supposed to, even if people choose something different. So it's all about relationships and serving other people. But one of the most key fundamentals of a relationship, especially in this business, is understanding while people are not numbers, it is a numbers game. You're going to talk to a lot of people, most of whom are not going to be doing what you're doing. Many will love your product, become customers, but not your opportunity. But the most important thing in a relationship, of course, is staying on top of it, letting people know that they matter, letting people know that they are valued. And as the world expands through Facebook, where geography is no longer a barrier, where the world goes 24 hours a day, the hardest thing is keeping up with people the way you intended to. This is why I love what you guys have, because it's not, helping people to pursue an inauthentic agenda. It's not helping people to write down 10 little known facts that you're going to remember so you can impress people with what they think you care about that you don't actually care about. It's allowing you to trigger yourself and trigger your memory and keep people at the forefront when life gets in the way. Today I wouldn't remember my own kids' birthdays, not because I don't know when they're born, but because I don't remember that it's August 13th, which is like Hillary's birthday. I don't remember that it's November 30th. The days all flow together. Well, contact mapping helps you first remember, hey, it's this day and it's this person's birthday. And oh my gosh, these are their kids' names. All those things but when life is going crazy, you don't really have the time to go reconstruct for yourself at any given moment. It's all there. So I love it because it helps you to let people know what you already know. Hey, Adrian, I think what you're doing is awesome, but life is so busy. If I didn't have reminders, I might not have I might not be able to get the 45 seconds, which is all I have to let you know, because I don't have the 6 minutes to do what contact mapping did for me so that I can get it done in 45 seconds. Because it only takes 45 seconds to let somebody know how much they matter and to make their whole day.
That's all you do for me, man. It's unbelievable. And we're going to, Marianne, get her address on the lake so we get some t-shirts down there. We're going to send a bunch for all your people as they come out of the water. They're going to have t-shirts.
That's a really cool t-shirt, by the way.
Oh, it's comfortable too,
Because
soft as a pillow.
I think it makes an excellent point. That is what contact mapping is all about. You see, people think with their heads.
Yeah.
And so often we go out and we try to get people to think this is what they want to do or to think themselves into it. But people are led by their hearts. So you have to connect with people at the heart level so that when they make decisions with their head, their heart's involved. Because good decisions made with the head are just things we think we should do but never do. Connect with people at the heart level, and they'll actually act on the very good decisions they made with their head. And that shirt basically tells you that.
Let me ask you this.
You can ask me anything, sir.
I know it. Whether it was Holton Bugs at Organo Gold, every time I turn around, somebody on the stage is saying, I have been phenomenally successful. I just want to thank Lisa Grossman. Where is it in your DNA that you're able to have such deep relationships with such powerful people? Where does that power emanate from? Is it because you're so authentic, so vulnerable, so completely with them that they feel they can trust you, they feel safe, and that they belong? Is that it?
I think it stems from what I believe so resolutely. I've had a lot of things happen in my life. We're not going to talk about them today, but let's say that I no longer suffer from fear of loss. And so often people have what they really believe or wish, but fear and greed and the voice in their head saying, the world's going to end tomorrow. I have to get it done. If I don't get it done today, it's never going to happen. I have a different belief. I believe that every relationship that you treat, the golden rule, if you serve people well, it will come back to you tenfold in ways that you can't imagine. And it starts with this. If you are it's not about you, it's about them. This business, nobody wants to be a part of somebody else's experiment. So you need to have made a decision for your life before you go share with somebody else why you think it might be good for them. Because if you're not certain, they're not going to follow you anywhere great, because people follow certainty. So when you go out, it has to be about the other person. And I believe that if you go serve other people and you make them feel good, it's really selfish, because the biggest beneficiary is you. When somebody tells me that I made a difference in their life, I'm thrilled and I'm glad I helped them. But who feels the best after that encounter? Me. Because I did something today that mattered. Much of what we do in a given day is necessary, but it's not like it really matters. But I believe that if you are good to people, it comes back to you tenfold. So I want you to imagine that every person you interact with on any given day, someday, one day, and you don't know how, they are going to do something amazing that is going to directly impact your business, your life, your future in a positive way. You don't know what. They may never join you. They may never be your customer. But what if Tom Chenault mentions my name to a person who turns out to be the person who takes me to a country I never would have otherwise visited? Yep. But that's only going to happen for you like the 7th or 8th time that people hear your name, or the 7th or 8th encounter they have with you, assuming they want to have one. But if you're a pest, or if you're so me focused that they don't feel like you care about them, they're not going to want to talk to you the 4th time, let alone the 8th time. And what do you learn? And one more thing, if you go out and talk to 100 people who are willing to listen to you, they are willing to let you present to them or have a conversation with you and go through your process, and every one of them tells you no, they should all be heroes in your story, because do you know how good you are after you go through something 100 times? Do you know how bulletproof you are? Do you know how talented you are? Repetition makes you great. And any person who allows you to go through that repetition to develop that skill, who cares if they become your customer or not? They are part of what made you great and helped you go the distance, because most people never do. That's what I believe. And look at a Holton Bugs. Yeah, I helped him. What does helping somebody who's that talented do for me? How much better am I because he allowed me to be around him and to help him solve problems that were such high-level problems that they made me better.
Denise Chenault has been commenting on this show like a mad woman. I think she's trying to point out that I didn't ask her to come and help interview you and Michelle.
Get her on.
That's got to be.
Which is a huge miss.
It is a huge miss. She would have brought so much value to this thing, because she's all heart. Angela Brooks just said that the minute she met you, she felt like you knew her all her life and that you only had one thing in mind, and that was making her life better. And I want to be known for that when I get to be your age, Lisa.
Oh, okay. When you get your age. Here's the thing. If you sit down with somebody, it's about the person in front of you. Amen. When you're out prospecting, it's about the world at large. What's the message, and see who is attracted to the message. When you sit down to talk to somebody, it is about them.
All right, we've got to go. I hate to do this to everybody. This was an unbelievable show. Lisa Grossman, Michelle Eldridge. We'll see you all next week on the Tom Chenault Show. Thank you for listening. Adrian, thank you for sticking around. We'll see you all next week. All right, you're 100% right. We're back on, Lisa. So don't worry about a thing. Keep talking. Oh, man, Michelle's gone. We could have had Michelle Eldridge back, too. All right, so... yeah. And you know who Lauren LaHave, remember her?
Yeah, I actually just got a message from her assistant.
Tell her I want her on the radio show and we need to talk to her. I was thinking about her this morning.
Lauren's amazing.
Maker like you are.
She is, she's amazing. She does events for women. She does so much behind the scenes for so many organizations, training volunteers, running her own organizations, helping. She's like, she doesn't care. She's not looking for personal glory. You would be amazed at what people can accomplish together when nobody cares who gets the friggin' credit.
Yeah. That's kind of like this little club you're creating down at your lake house. I've never seen more. Who's flying in today? Somebody big time.
Joe Kennemore came in last night.
Joe Kennemore.
Wow.
And I said, what do I have to spend? What do I have to bring? How do I get invited?
You're welcome.
T-shirts.
I got bedrooms here. I got couches. If we run out of space, there's an inn, a golf cart right away. That's got 80 rooms, condos, houses. I want everybody to come visit. And I like to, let's mastermind away and make the world a better place.
Isn't that cool? And when's Curtis get there?
He'll be up with Sean Murphy. I think on Saturday. Steve will be up on Friday. Josh Peak may come up next week. Jesse Lee and Alexander may be up next week. The only thing I'm upset about is I can't make it into Vegas for Eric's
Beyond Leadership,
because the board taking delivery of the boat, and it's right, and all these people are coming up, and I have to take boat driving lessons.
Wow. Yeah, that's an important thing. You do want to do that. You guys.
I'm not going to be the first one to hit the dock. Not going to be me.
We've hit a few docks in our day. I buy props by the dozen. I buy props like people buy donuts.
You just got to feel your way into the slip, Lisa. That's the key.
It has thrusters and buoys.
Yeah. Well, and we don't have their lake is 600 miles of shoreline.
Holy.
We are one.
Yeah.
We can do a lap around this lake and it doesn't even go around the prop once. It's hilarious. That's so funny.
I
All
can
right.
wait
Well,
till you guys
Lisa,
come up and
we
visit.
love you so much for coming on.
Love
And
you
I will
both.
see you on the flip
And
side.
Adrian, we are going to have a Zoom with the MIT Genius soon because Tom feels it's not enough that I love to use it. He thinks I need to understand the technology. If your MIT guy can make me understand the technology, he needs to leave MIT and go put together technology for dummies.
You guys are going to love
We
each
got
other.
it. All right. We love you, Lisa. Thank you so much.
I got
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.